Dear students, today we shall discuss a poem titled Lot's Wife by Christine Batty. Christine Batty is a contemporary Chicago poet who uses the story from the Genesis to compose a poem. As you have seen in the video, in Genesis chapter 19, we come across Lot and his family and the incident that happened to their life. They lived in the city of Sodom, which was filled with many disobedient people who never paid any attention to God's commands. And God was angered and he decided to destroy the city of Sodom. Lot was Abraham's nephew, and when Abraham comes to know about God's decision, he requests to save Lot and his family from the sad fate. God knew that Lot was very obedient and God-fearing, and God decided to save Lot and family. He has sent two of his angels in the guise of two human beings, and they reached Lot's house. Lot welcomed them and exhibited much of hospitality. He was a very good natured man, and the angels were pleased by the nature of Lot. Even when the people in the city came to Lot's house and inquired about the two strangers who came to the house, Lot did his best to protect the two men who came into his house as guests. So the angels were also pleased by Lot's behavior, and as per the commands of God, they led Lot and his family to a distant place. Meanwhile, God was planning to destroy the city of Sodom. And the only command that the angels gave them is this: do not turn back and look at the city as you walk away. But what happened is, Lot's wife could not bear the temptation to look back. She turned and had a last glance at the city where she has been living all these years. And as a punishment, God converts her to a pillar of salt. She becomes a transparent pillar of salt. But unfortunately, we find Lot and her two daughters proceeding the journey without shedding tears for her. She is totally forgotten, pushed into oblivion. Nobody paid any genuine concern or regret for having left her like that there. So this is the story of Lot's wife, and we often view Lot's wife as a disobedient woman who got a punishment that she really deserves. This is how people normally read the account about Lot's wife. But here the poet is portraying Lot's wife from a different point of view. Here we find a contrast between the character of Lot and the character of Lot's wife. And it is so sad that her name is not mentioned. She is just known as somebody's wife. So again, the question of identity of a woman, you can think about that when you hear the title of the poem. She is never spoken of as an individual. Instead, she is a dependent on Lot. And Lot is said to be a just man, a God-fearing, an obedient man, a good-natured man who is very spiritual, who is always communicating with God, and who knows what God has in mind. But in contrast to that, Lot's wife is portrayed as a mundane lady, a worldly lady who was good in connecting herself with other human beings around her. Lot was living in a spiritual realm a realm of philosophy, a realm of religiosity, a realm of meditation or contemplation, and he was poor in getting connected with people who lived around him. Whereas this lady was very worldly, very mundane, earthly, and she could express compassion towards every living being around her. And here in the poem, you find criticism towards the god who was so cruel. He was so insensitive and intrusive. So Lot's wife tried to reach beyond herself and relates to her lived world. And we find so many powerful images from day to day experiences. But Lot remains so indifferent and reserved, and he does not feel much of pain when he is asked to leave his native city. But the lady cannot bear the thought of leaving the city where she has been living for many years. So let's move into the poem. While Lot, the conscience of a nation, struggles with the Lord, she struggles with the housework. So, in the opening lines of the poem itself, we find a demarcation, a clear demarcation between the concerns of Lot and the concerns of his wife. Lot is concerned about the spiritual realm, and his enterprises are with the Lord in the heaven above, whereas this lady's major work is concerned with her own household. The city of sin is where she raises the children, and she is the one who raises the children. The big responsibility of bringing up her children in the midst of all sorts of sin. It's highly challenging, and the father of the family remains in a privileged position, always communicating with God and enjoying a predominant position in the family and society, whereas the mother is totally entrusted with the responsibility of bringing up her children without sinning. So it's really challenging for a mother. Baal or Adonai, whoever is God, the bread must still be made and the door still swept. So Baal and Adonai, these are the names of the pagan gods who are mentioned in the Old Testament of the Bible. So whoever is the god, it's not a big concern for ladies like Lot's wife. What is more important for them is cooking and cleaning and maintaining their house in a very impressive way. There is no compromise with regard to the household duties. The Lord may kill the children tomorrow, but today they must be bathed and fed. So maybe tomorrow their children might be killed, but that doesn't mean that today she can escape from the responsibilities towards her children. They must be given food and they must be kept clean. So inescapable responsibilities of a woman are being pointed out here. Well and good to condemn your neighbor's religion, but weren't they there when the baby was born and when the well collapsed? So in times of calamity, the neighbors were with her. So whatever is their religion, it's not a big issue for her. Practically speaking, they were very helpful to this lady, especially during childbirth and in times of predicament. They would come near her and offer a helping hand. While her husband communes with God, she tucks the children into bed. So it's not easy for a lady to put children to sleep. And meanwhile, her husband would meditate and pray to God, and she is the one who undertakes the responsibility of putting them all to bed. In the morning, when he tells her of the judgment, that is, God's decision to destroy the city, she puts down the lamp she is cleaning and calmly begins to pack. So she is informed about God's decision only through him. And then immediately she does not cry aloud or she does not raise questions. Instead, she was doing her duty and she put the lamp down and then starts packing. She is very practical. She knows that if you are supposed to leave the city, everything has to be packed up and it's her duty. So she is very duty oriented. In between bundling up the children and deciding what will go, she runs for a moment to say goodbye to the herd. So this shows that this lady is very compassionate and more humane So, though she is busy packing up all the things for a journey, she just takes a fraction of a second to meet her neighbors and bid farewell to them, gently patting each soft head with tears in her eyes for the animals that will not understand. Not just towards human beings. Her concern, affection, it is extended even towards the pet animals. She smiles blindly to the woman who held her hand at childbed. So she has no words. There are certain moments in life when you cannot express your feelings through words. So that silence itself is communicating powerfully. It's easy for eyes that have always turned to heaven not to look back. Lot might not feel the intensity of the pain that she is feeling. He might not have such pain of separation or the trouble when he is supposed to uproot himself from the native place and go to a distant place, because he has never got emotionally attached to any of the people or anything around him. So it's easy for him to get ready for a journey and to leave everything as such. Those who have been by necessity drawn to earth cannot forget that life is lived from day to day. Good to a god and good in human terms are two different things. So Lot was God fearing and obedient towards God, but she was good in human terms, good towards other fellow beings around her. So these are two different extremes, being good towards God and being good towards the fellow beings around us. On the breast of the hill, she chooses to be human and turns in farewell and never regrets the sacrifice. So, when she is about to leave the place forever, she consciously decides to take a look back at her own city and never regrets the sacrifice, because she was so much attached to the place and she wanted to take a last look, well knowing the consequence. So, this shows how humane she was, how compassionate she was, and the entire poem sympathizes with the pathetic fate of Lot, and it places her in a new light before us. She was until now thought of as an epitome of disobedience towards God, but now we feel empathy or identification towards this woman, and we can understand the pain of separation that anybody would feel when they are supposed to leave their native place. So, this poem portrays this lady character from a new perspective. Very often, meta narratives are not addressing small characters and small incidents and their emotions and thoughts. We don't get any insight towards their emotions and thoughts. In Bible especially, stories come to us in the form of historical documents, but here this is an emotional rendering of Lot's story, Lot's wife's story, and we can understand this lady character in a better way. I hope you understood the poem. Thank you.